In case you wondered where I've been, I have been gone for a week in Mardi Gras. Woo! No, I didn't earn these. I'm sorry. A lot of you know that when you get some beads, that means that you did show something, and I didn't show anything. I just smiled. Ching! And they just came pouring from the sky. I didn't even have to show anything. Anyways, I've been at Mardi Gras. My boyfriend took me. He surprised me. It was awesome. Bourbon Street was full of tons of boobies and drunk people throwing on themselves, and it stunk really bad, and it's exactly what you would think it would be. It was crazy, which was cool, but I mean, I partied in my past, so I was like, yay, that's fun. But next door was a street called Royal Street. It was so cool. They had all these costumes, and they had like this person had head to toe costume made in newspaper, and they had these huge wigs and all this, and it's just people from all over dressed up in these huge costumes having a great time. And that was more my street. I could hang with that, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to give a 1 minute history of Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras actually is a Catholic event in some ways. When the Africans were enslaved and they were brought over to New Orleans, they brought along with them their religious voodoo. But they were oftentimes, the majority of them were converted to Catholicism. Well, when they did that, the voodoo and the Catholicism kind of blended. And what happened is the spirits that the voodoo would then, you could say, like pray to, they forgot the names. So they started replacing them with the names of the Catholic saints. So with Mardi Gras is actually an event that happens on, it means Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday because on Wednesday is Lent. And in Lent you give up what you prize the most, that you indulge with the most and you enjoy for 40 days. But so on Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, you indulge in all of it, and then on Wednesday you do Lent. So, which is actually a Catholic thing. So what happened with the beads, which was my question, where the hell did these things come from, really? You know, I highly doubt they were showing their boobs and getting beads back in the day. How the beads came along is there was a king that was following and trying to court this woman, and she came to Mardi Gras. This is way, way back when. And when he arrived, they found out that he was showing up. And in Mardi Gras, you make fun of people. You make fun of events. So with the purple, the green, and the gold, these were the colors, the king's colors. So they ended up like making fun of him, and they did this big floats and parades and things with all making fun of the king dressed up as him. And when the king would go around in his little basket thing, I guess you could say, and they would hold him, he would throw out coins, so that way the people wouldn't try to come in and hurt him. They would be going after the coins. Well, in time, obviously, as the years went on, they continued this tradition because they enjoyed it so much, but the coins were too expensive, so modernized, they changed to beads from China. It's a little bit cheaper. And that's why they throw out the beads instead of the coins. So that's your little review on Mardi Gras. I wanted to go over my other section. I wanted to go over, a lot of people ask me, motivation-wise, how do I think of all these things to motivate people, and how do I keep my motivation going? Well, I would love to say that all of the ideas are mine, but they're not. So I wanted to start going over certain books that I'm reading and I really enjoy, and I want to bring up some subjects. So the book that I've been reading lately is called The Magic of Thinking Big, and that's by David Schwartz. This is a top-selling book, and I know why, because it's amazing. Not only does it go over ways to create success in every aspect of life, but also how when things come up as a block, like a dog's butt, Chihuahua, when things come up as a block, it goes over steps that you can take to prevent them and to go through it. So one of the things I saw in here was about fear, and I really, really liked it because it was interesting. It was similar to what I do when it comes up to things that I'm afraid of. So let's go over something very, very similar, and I call it, what's the worst that can happen? And that's what I run through my mind. What is the worst that can happen? So maybe you are, let's say you work in retail and you do sales, and you want to go in for an interview as manager. And reality says, no, you can't be manager. You've only done sales. There's no way you can be manager. So fear pops up, says it's not possible, says you're just silly to even think that you have a chance, right? But let's walk through it. Let's question those ideas that pop in. So what's the worst that can happen? You show up to your interview. The person who's interviewing you asks you your experience. You explain your experience. You say how charged you are. You know you could be manager. This is something that you would love to learn, and it's a passion of yours. So worst case scenario, they don't give you the job. Now, let's take it a step further. Worst case scenario, which the odds are really slim, they laugh at you. Tell you you're stupid, you've wasted their time, and then you leave and you don't get the job. Okay, I think that's probably about as bad as it's going to get. Even in that situation of it being that bad, what did you learn? Now you know similar questions that will be asked in your next interview when you do this again. Now you know what the situation is going to be like. Maybe now you know certain things that you need to work on to get there. So even in your worst case scenario, you've learned a lot. And if you work on those things, the next time you go in, your odds of getting that management position are way higher. So those are the worst case. Now, best case scenario, you show up, you kick butt at that audition, and they put you as manager. That's pretty awesome. So getting the management position or not getting it, but learning what you need to do in order to get it in the future. So fear tells you that you can't do it. But if you really stop and you walk through and go, worst case scenario is, oftentimes you will find that the worst case scenario really isn't that bad. So this is one of the things that this book goes over. I'm going to go over a couple of other things in future vlogs. I hope you listen in and watch. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to see all my funny, crazy videos and photos from going to Mardi Gras and Texas and New Orleans and Mississippi, then go on over to my Facebook. It's all right down below. And check out my photos and videos. I will see you next time.